Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Hey y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tanisha Davis, guys. In this video, we are going to talk about what everybody's been talking about. How has in this instance, my net worth been effective since the Trump tariffs went into place, okay? So let's talk about it. The last time we took a look at our net worth was in this video here, Eye in the Sky. And this was back in November. So let's take a look at what has happened in my accounts since then. All right. Now listen, for those of you who don't know or don't know my definition, because everybody acts like when I come up with these videos, they have their own definition. So let's talk about it. Net worth is simply this. It's real simple. It's everything you own minus everything that you owe. It's your assets minus your debts, okay? Now, I take a look at two asset classes for my net worth. I take a look at property, and I take a look at savings and investments. Technically, that could be considered three, but I combine savings and investments for the purpose of this video. In the past, I did look at my car assets, but I don't anymore, and we'll talk about that further when we get there, okay? So let's take a look at the first thing. Let's go ahead and talk about the car. The reason why I decided to stop looking at my car asset. Now, it's not what everybody thinks. I do have a Tesla, all right? It's a 2013 Tesla. I did not stop looking at this because of all of the negative press, negative feelings, negative things that has taken place with Teslas. Technically, I did take a look at it for this video, but we're not going to reveal that. And the car is still holding its value. Of course, it's a depreciating asset. That's what cars are, unless it's like a vintage car, a collector car or whatever. But cars are depreciating assets. They are going to lose value over time. I enjoy taking a look at my car asset just to track how exactly that depreciation looked over time. But actually, it's gotten to a point where it just really doesn't matter anymore. My car's value was between $11,000 and $15,000, so not something that made or broke my net worth. So I just decided to just go ahead and stop looking at it altogether. So we're not going to be discussing car assets, but there are people who do count their cars as an asset, and that is not incorrect. And especially if you have a debt against a car, you definitely have to count that or subtract that from your net worth. My car is paid off. It has been paid off ever since I purchased the car. So the debt against the car was never an issue, okay? So now let's move along and talk about my property. I do have a mortgage on my property, and that's going to be considered the debt. But in the meantime, the property does have value. I take a look at Zillow to get a rough estimate of my property's value. And this is because this is what I've always done. I've always taken the property value from Zillow. And so I like to keep it nice and consistent. Now, once again, I've had people mention that, oh, Zillow is not, am I going to say reputable place or an accurate place? But actually, it is. How do I know? I've actually sold a house before. And my house listed on Zillow will show you what the value of that house was, what the net worth of that house was. And when I sold the home, the value reflected once again on Zillow. So what you see on Zillow for what that home sold for was exactly what it sold for. So how accurate is that, right? It reflected the true sale. And what I made from that sale was actually real live money after I paid the taxes, after I paid the realtors and such. That money was actually added into my net worth. So I find it to be a very accurate source. Okay, so the last time we did this, November 7th, the property was worth, according to Zillow.com, $992,800. Now in April, the property actually went up in value, and it is now worth $1,026,000. I owe on the property $97,970. This gives us a value of $928,030. My home increased by $70,900, y'all. Wow. Wow. This is $33,200 in appreciation and $37,700 in debt pay down. So that means that I paid off that much of what I've owed on the house since the last time we did this, okay? And then it also increased in value. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, let's move along to savings and investment. And again, for the purpose of this video, I go ahead and combine them. But for my own personal records, I do keep them separate. Okay, so the last time we did this back in November, my savings and my investments had a combined value of $756,134. 5 months later, my savings and investments now have a value of $705,425. Y'all, this is a decrease of $50,709. $50,000 loss in my savings and investments. Honestly, how do I feel about that? Honestly, I actually thought it was going to be more. So I'm not devastated. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I thought it was going to be more because when I look at $50,000, I feel like $50,000 could be made up in no time. Now, I know that there's people who lost way more because they have way more invested, right? But I'm not her. She is not me. And that's not my story. And that's okay. Would I have loved to have more invested? Obviously, yes. But this channel is about real people doing real things. I was not a person who was born financially literate, financially educated. For those of you who don't know, I started this journey when I turned 40. When I turned 40 is when I started the journey of getting my money life together for real. So I'm super proud of myself for what I accomplished in that short period of time. It hasn't even been 10 years yet, right? So what I know, because I've been doing this, is that that money can be made up in like a month or two. Let's talk about the overall picture. So again, we mentioned that we are not evaluating the car asset anymore, right? And so for property, we have a net value of $928,030. And for saving and investments, we have a net value of $705,425. Our net worth when we did this back in November was $1,629,440. And today, our net worth is $1,633,455. That's a 5-month increase of a whopping $4,015. Wow. And the only reason why we have an increase is because we do have diversity in our assets, and it's our home that's saving the day. Okay. In the past, my net worth has increased $20,000 to $30,000 a month. $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So for this to have only increased $4,000 in a span of 5 months is Yeah, I've never seen that in all of the time that I've been tracking my net worth. I've never seen that. Like, wow. But like I said, because I know the trend, because I know the history has been to get a 20 to 30,000 gain every single month, I'm super confident that this will be made up in no time. And actually, since Trump has announced a hold on the tariffs, I also know that the market has gained value. I took these numbers before he announced the freeze, the 90-day freeze, right? So we are going to come back in another video, not today, not tomorrow. And we're also going to talk about how was my net worth affected when the 90-day freeze was announced and where do we stand now. And I'm super interested to see what the future holds. Do I have a whole lot of hope that the market is going to do good numbers in the next 4 years? I don't. But would I love for it to? I will, because after all, this is my money. This is bigger than saying, ah, ha, 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 I told you so regarding what an administration is doing or not doing. This is bigger than that. This is real people's real money that they need to live off, especially in this day and time where a lot of people are being separated from their employment due to government cuts, due to tariffs, due to being forced into early retirement or given the option of early retirement. Don't mind my dog. But what I know for sure is this. In order to retire early, your retirement accounts need to be healthy. They need to be stable. So all of the up and down, up and down, up and down based off of what one man says, one man who is the head of this country says, is not cool. It's not the coolest thing. It's not cool on so many levels. But this video isn't about that. This video is about what my net worth is at this point in time. And so there you have it. Let me know, have you taken a look at your net worth? How's it going? How's it doing? Talk to us down there in the comments below. Until then, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a member of the Fun and Budget family. Until the next time, see y'all in the next video. Peace.